Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So it's time to talk about smartphones of the year. Now, I'm not going to get a big table out and lay out all my smartphones. Some of these phones I actually don't have anymore. Do plan on bringing some of them back, but they still made the list. So this could be a lengthy video, just a fair warning. But I wanted to make sure that I put that disclaimer out there. This is my 2019 phones of the year. Based on my experience. Now, I didn't purchase every smartphone in the year of 2019, but I definitely had my fair share of them, and a lot of them were great. There are going to be some phones that didn't make the list, but that doesn't mean that they were not good phones in my experience. It just means they didn't make the list for whatever reason. So this should be fairly fun to get your reactions in the comments and see how you guys respond to my list. Every year this is fun to do, and we'll do it now. So let's knock this out. First one on the list is the Moto G7. Now the Moto G7 is a phone that I got on Google Fi, and it has been a fantastic device. I used it a lot for live streams. It's got great battery. The cameras are great. The battery is good. It's got stock Android or pretty much, and it's Motorola. It was pretty fragile though. I needed to keep it in a case. Dropped it one time when I first bought it, and it shattered, so I had to kind of divvy up the back. But even though I cracked the back of the glass, it still works perfectly fine. I use it for some B-roll, and I use it for some phone calls, and it's just really a solid device, and it's very affordable. And one thing here, my list isn't based on price or budget phones. It's not split into any kind of categories. This is just the phones I'm giving to you based on my experience with them and how I think they could have ranked or should rank on this list here. So that's number 10 on my list, the Moto G7. It's a good phone. And I think if you were to purchase it right now, I think you can grab it for 99 bucks. I paid $250 for it when it came out on Fi. And now it's down to 99 bucks about 6 to 8 months later. So it's totally worth it. I believe it's 99 bucks. Don't quote me on it. I think it is though. But anything under $250 for the Moto G7, you're getting a heck of a deal. So that's number 10 on my list. Number 9 on my list is the Galaxy A70. Now the A70 is a device that I treasured so much. I could have kept it, but I passed it on to someone. I sold it to someone who I thought they would actually like and love it. It's a great phone. It's got a huge display. It's low in price. It's got a beautiful display, by the way, a 6.7-inch display. And the price, I think I paid $340 for it at the time. And the price is kind of holding steady around that mark, I believe. But nonetheless, the A70 is a big battery, big screen, great cameras, tons of features in there that rivals, high-end flagships. And it's totally worth it, man. So that made number 9 on my list of devices. Now, number 8 on my list is the iPhone 11. Obviously, I bought the iPhone 11, 11 Pro, and 11 Pro Max, and settled like as a daily with the 11. I don't use the 11 regularly anymore. I use it, but it doesn't leave the house pretty much. And I'm going to get rid of it and get something else, probably. But the iPhone 11 really has great battery. The price is up there at $750. I think I paid $750 for the 128 gig. I'm not sure, but yeah, the price is good. It's still limited. That's just what you know what you're getting into when you get into an iPhone. So you know what you're going to expect. You can expect great software updates, lots of software updates, great cameras for video. Love that phone for video cameras. It's just probably one of the best for video cameras, one of the best that has come out in 2019. Not the best, but definitely one of the best, because I didn't experience all of the video cameras on all devices. But of all the phones that I have, I think I ranked that one number 1 for video 4K at 60. But it's definitely a good phone. But you do have the option for the Pro and the Pro Max. They cost a heck of a lot more though. So the iPhone 11 is that all-around iPhone, the one that I would tell anybody to get. I wouldn't tell a person to get the Pro models because you're not really getting that much more. And you're getting more color options with the 11. You're getting stellar battery. Again, great cameras. you're getting the Apple ecosystem, something that people really like and enjoy. And I think I love the Mac side of it. The phones, it's okay. But overall, the iPhone 11 definitely makes the cut because it is a great, great device. Starting at $700, that might be an issue for some people, which I understand. But it is a little pricey for what offers Apple throws out there. But this is what Apple does, So that's my number 8 on the list. Now, my number 7 on the list is 2 devices, either the Pixel 3a or the Pixel 3a XL. Those phones are super affordable, and it is just the best offering from Google if you want to get into the Google system. It is just the best way to get in. And back on Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they were offering huge discounts on these. I mean, the 3A was $250, and the 3A XL was like $320. Regular price is $399, which is obviously back up to right now, and $479 for the 3A XL. Still really good pricing, though, when you consider the devices that it's competing against. It's beating them out on software. It's beating them out on cameras. It's beating them out on battery life. It's got a headphone jack, Type-C stereo speakers. There's a lot that goes into the Pixel 3a line. And even to this day, even though those phones don't make number 1 on my list, it is still where I would tell a person to go to if they just really want a stock Android phone and they want to support. The 3A and the 3A XL is the way to go. And I really enjoy those phones, man. My 3A XL just is stellar on battery. The cameras they're equally matched to the Pixel 4 in a lot of ways. And it's just a really good set of devices, man. It's the best way to get into Google's system at this point. So those are my number 7s on the list. And number 6 on the list is the Pixel 4 or 4 XL. Those rank higher to me because of the hardware is better, in my personal opinion. The cameras, you do get an extra lens. Using the additional lens, you'd be amazed at how good those photos come out. But more importantly, you've got a much more powerful setup inside. The 3A line has a mid-tier processor, and you can tell sometimes when you're taking photos the processing time. But the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, they excel. They are top-notch Google devices. It is the best that Google has to offer right now. They are a little on the pricey side for a lot of people, but during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they were $200 off. And then on Google Fi, the Pixel 4 and 4 XL were 50% off. So there's no reason that if you wanted to try these, that you didn't get one during that time frame. And if that's not your thing, you can definitely finance on carriers and pay monthly. If you can finance directly through Google if that's your thing, but you don't have to pay full cost like some of us do for our devices. But the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, top-notch phones, man. But they do lack in a lot of areas, because if you take away these discounts, the price is definitely a little on the higher side. There's no headphone jack. There's no expandable storage. The storage options are very low for the price. When you match them, next to each other, it kind of goes downhill a little bit for Google at that point. But the pros still outweigh the cons when it comes to the Pixel 4 and 4 XL, in my personal opinion. So those devices are number 6 on the list. Now, number 5 on the list is the ZTE Axon 10 Pro. Now, this device gets number 5 on this. Top 5 is coming up, and it made top 5 for a number of reasons. Definitely the price. The price on this is half the cost of tons of other phones with the same internals or less. This phone has a great set of cameras, killer battery, stereo speakers, Dolby Atmos. It's got an IP rating. It's got wireless charging. It's got an SD card. And there's a 256 gig option, 8 gigs. There's just a lot of things to like about and not to mention how beautiful the hardware is. ZTE moved to stock Android now. They recently are promising we're going to go ahead and go to Android 10 by 2020. So, and they've posted some of the images online, so it's fine. They're keeping their word on that. And the pricing, though, and the package on the Axon 10 Pro really got it into the top 5. It was a tough time me putting this list together. Believe it or not, it was tough. And ZTE barely made the cut in for that top 5, but they made the top 5 because that price point is just ridiculous. And during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, they're offering those phones for like $449 and $499, folks, and they give them a free case. You just can't beat that. That's top 5 type of deal right there. High-end internals, performs great. All the bells and whistles you could possibly want for half the cost of some of the other phones on the list. So top 5. So number 4 on the list is the OnePlus 7T. This phone really grew on me, and it is one of my daily drivers. The 7T does everything the 7 Pro, OnePlus 7 Pro did to me, but better. Some people are so fascinated with the pop-up camera and all these other things, the 90 hertz display, the full screen display, you know, the higher resolution. But reality is this phone costs $599, and it's just $599. And it has the latest processor, no expandable storage, but the price point again, and how powerful the phone is and how beautiful the phone is. And the cameras are probably the weakest point of that phone, but the cameras are still great. They just don't measure up against some other phones on the list. But nonetheless, the 7T is a very nice way to get into OnePlus's system. And some of you guys might say, well, Jay, you know, the OnePlus 7 Pro was on sale through Black Friday, and it was only $550. You know, it's cost less than the 7T. Well, that's fine. But the 7T feels great in the hand. It's a nice slender form factor. It's 20x9. It is very, very nice. It's just a complete fast phone. And it made my top 4 spot. It's actually that good. And that's saying something. That is saying something, because the OnePlus 7 Pro, you know, it's okay. It didn't even make the list, but I can give it an honorable mention. But the 7T, in my opinion, I recommend it way more than I recommend the 7 Pro, because some people would get into specs. Oh, it has a lower resolution display. It doesn't have expandable storage. It doesn't have the higher memory option. The phone is fantastic. And that's just been my experience with it. Battery is off the charts on this thing. It's really good, folks. It only has 2 color options, but most people put a case in the skin, like you guys always tell me. And that's what I did. I put a case in the skin on it. But, you know, that phone is different on the camera module. And I was kind of drawn to that too, the way it looks. It's just a really nice phone. It feels great. And it's got a flat screen. Flat screen. Beautiful. So, number 3 on my list is probably no surprise to you. It's the LG G8. Now, the LG G8 is a phone that, wow, I was totally blown away at this device. And I kept it. Some people said, oh, why'd you get rid of it? Well, I had the G8 since launch, and that was a long time. And I felt like I had plateaued with the G8, and it was a good phone, and I'm a phone reviewer. And so, you know, I can only give you so many updates on the phone. And so I said, you know what, maybe I'll get rid of the G8 and get the 7T Pro. And I'm happy that I did, or the 7T. And I'm happy that I did, because the G8, while it still ranks higher than the 7T and all the phones before that, the G8 is offering cameras. And I think the LG is the best at wide angle footage. It's offering the 4K at 60 like most of the phones on the list. It's way more beautiful than a lot of the phones on the list, because I had the crimson red, and it's got the high-powered DAC. It was a great form factor. It was 6.1, but it had a powerful display, and it got software updates, believe it or not. It actually has some fantastic experiences with it. Never had a problem with it. Nothing whatsoever. The phone was awesome. But as a reviewer, it was my personal phone, I just wanted something to replace it. And number 2 actually replaced that phone as a daily driver. And I'll get to that in a second. But the G8 is an awesome all-around device. And it seems like right now, people are flocking more to the G8 because you can get discounts on it and things like that. But I think during Black Friday, it was on sale for $399 on Amazon. And then I bought it for $600 through T-Mobile. And then later on towards the end of the year, T-Mobile raised the price to $750. Now, I was kind of shocked by that. I was like, why are they raising the price on the G8? The year's almost out, and they raised it from $600 to $750. I don't know. Nonetheless, I don't even think it's on the website anymore. But the G8 was a powerful device, never had a problem with it, enjoyed it to the fullest, and it made number 3. So now, number 2 replaced the G8 as a daily driver. And number 2 was the Mate 20X from Huawei. The Mate 20X to me, wow. If number one hadn't come around, the Mate 20X would be in the number one spot. The Mate 20X has beautiful hardware, a huge 7.3-inch display, beautiful. And I will bring this device back in. I've actually been waiting to get the right price to bring it back in because at the time, I didn't know that the Mate 20X would hold its value a year later. I started the year with the Mate 20X. I started this year with the Mate 20X. If you don't recall, go back to January in my videos and you'll see tons of footage of my first impressions and how I love that device. And I still do. But at the time, I wanted to review lots of other phones, and that phone, it's going to sound strange, but if I would have kept that phone back then, I had it for maybe 2 to 3 months, I believe, I wouldn't have been able to focus on other devices. I would try to do a review, and I just kept comparing it to the Mate 20X because the Mate 20X was that good. That thing, I mean, the video footage, the speakers, the screen, the build quality. The build quality on the Mate 20X, to me, is probably the best in this entire lineup. It's even better build quality than the number one phone, in my opinion. But a downside to having the Mate 20X is the size. It's a pretty big phone, and it's got some weight to it. And so when I would put a case on it, you know what I'm saying, it really would hammer home with the size then. But overall, that 7.3-inch display, it was beautiful, man. And I loved it. The cameras were beautiful. The cameras it was just the ultimate device for me. And so some people say, well, why'd you get rid of it? Well, again, it was tough for me to focus on, moving to a different phone to review. And all the phones on the list now, I can easily put them down to review something else. There's only one that draws me back the most, and it's going to be number one. And we'll discuss that here in a second. But the Mate 20X, for sure, if number one hadn't come out, the Mate 20X would be number one. And number one is the Samsung Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which is what I'm recording this video with. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus, I got this phone for $599. And actually, we have two of them. She uses one, I use one. Got the 512, and we have the 256 white. And I would have had the 512 in white if it was offered. But $599 for one and $500 for the other, you can't beat that deal. I traded in an iPhone 10 and an iPhone 10R and got $600 for those phones for each one, and it just cut the price down. And you get a free watch and free Galaxy Buds. I mean, the Note 10 is the boss, folks. As much as I like every other phone on the list, the Note 10 is the phone to beat in 2019 and probably heading in to 2020. The Note 11 or whatever comes next is probably going to be fire. Samsung will not drop the ball. The pricing is actually $10.99 and $11.99, but Samsung did it right. I don't think anybody paid those prices. They offered fantastic trade-in deals, better than anybody else out there doing trade-in deals. Not Apple, not Google, not nobody. Nobody offered the trade-in values that Samsung did, and they did it right. They offered fantastic trade-in deals to get you out of those phones. And I'm already a Note person, so I was going to probably like the Note anyway because the Note 9 was phone of the year. So the Note 10 takes it to a whole nother level. 6.8-inch display. These killer cameras that you're watching me record with. Stereo speakers, the IP rating, just the beautiful design. And it's just really good. They took away the headphone jack. They took that away, which was to be expected. But you still get the S Pen suite. And this video was edited on the Galaxy Note 10 Plus. They marketed this phone, the 10 Plus, as the creator's device. And I totally agree with it. Now, while I've said in the past, if you're an iPhone person, you can go ahead and get the iPhone 11 or one of those devices, and you can still be a creator. But the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, man, being able to control everything, I start and stop this video with my S Pen. I can take photos with the S Pen. It's just a fantastic all-arounder, man. It's got an SD card, even though it has these large memory options. I mean, 256 and 512, and you still get an SD card slot. Still get it. Now, some people might say, well, I don't think I could ever fill up 256 gigs. I don't think I could ever fill up 500 gigs. You're probably right. But if you're a content creator and you don't have anywhere to back up your stuff yet, keep it on your phone. It'll jump to the cloud. If you want to put it up in Samsung's cloud or whatever you want to do, or put it to Google, you're good to go. This phone has it's all screen. So that's what makes it perfect. It's just fantastic, man. So the smartphone of the year for 2019 is the Samsung Galaxy Note 10. The Galaxy pulls it off. I mean, what can I say? Leave a comment down below, guys, and tell me what you think about this video. What's your smartphone of the year? You create your own list. I would love to see that in the comments. For those that actually watched all the way through and didn't skip around and say, oh, I knew it was, thanks for watching the video all the way through. It really helps the channel when you watch the full video, believe it or not. Just watching and not skipping around in the videos definitely help keep me afloat on YouTube because I need you guys. So this is my smartphone of the year for 2019, the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, and I just don't know of any device that I've had in the past that can hold me latched on so long, man. It's crazy. It's a good thing I have multiple phone numbers, because if I didn't, man, I don't know what I would do. So I would probably never swap my SIM card. It would only go to the Pixel or, the Mate 20X. The Pixel 4 would get the SIM card, and, possibly the Mate 20X, if I can ever get another one. It will be hard to swap my SIM card out of this device. But there it is, folks. Did you guys know that it was going to be number one? How's your list? I'll see you guys in the comments. And I get the pleasure of stopping the video with the S Pen. It's your man Jay. See you in the next one. Take care.